fertilizer complex in Gode, Somali region. And Addis Ababa gears up to host major global summits on Africa and climate. Hello and very warm welcome to EBC World, the voice of Pan-Africanism, with the latest highlights of the day. To stay tuned, I'm Binyam Gitana. Ethiopia has sealed a 2.5 billion investment agreement with Africa's Dangote Group to build a fertilizer complex in Gode area of Somali regional state in the presence of Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed and Aliko Mohammed Dangote, President and CEO of the Dangote Group. The fertilizer complex shareholder investment agreement signed between Ethiopian Investment Holdings and the Dangote Group will pave the way for a plant capable of producing up to 3 million metric tons of fertilizers annually, the Prime Minister said on a social media post. According to the Premier, the project is expected to make Ethiopia one of the largest fertilizer producers globally, reducing reliance on imports and stabilizing supply for farmers. Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed announced that an official groundbreaking will take place at the project site, underscoring the government's determination to seize a venture for our farmers, for our economy, and for Ethiopia's future. Set for completion within 40 months, the project would generate thousands of jobs, boost productivity, and enhance Ethiopia's competitiveness across Africa, he added.
The nature of the investment here is to produce urea, about 3 million tons. It's a major milestone to produce right from 0 to 3 million tons, which is by far much more than what Ethiopia is consuming today. It's a very huge, gigantic project. As we speak today, 3 million tons is equivalent to what we have in Nigeria, which is actually the second largest urea plant in the world. So it is not easy moving from 0 to, so we'll deliver it within 3 years. Ethiopia is a very good destination. Number one, Ethiopia has the raw material. The raw material of producing urea is natural gas. And if you don't utilize your raw material, you end up buying, urea every day, importing, arriving late. The farmers will not be happy. They are not receiving this. But what we are also trying to do is a major revolution. His Excellency Prime Minister Abiy, I think, is a very visionary leader. By what he's doing right now, is that he's going to massively expand, boost agriculture, and make sure that he brings prosperity to Ethiopia.
In other development, the Ministry of Foreign Affairs has reaffirmed that the successful completion of the Grand Ethiopian Renaissance Dam demonstrates Africa's ability to develop its own resource through its own capacity. In a weekly press briefing, Foreign Affairs spokesperson Nabiyat Getachew stated that the Grand Ethiopian Renaissance Dam is a symbol of African resilience and self-reliance, providing that the continent need not depend solely on external actors to realize its development ambition. Nabiat further stated that Ethiopia is finalizing preparations to host major international and continental gatherings in Addis Ababa. Among them, the African-Caribbean Summit will bring together head of state to deliberate on strengthening global solidarity and advancing justice for Africans and people of African descent. The three-day event is expected to underscore the historical bond between Ethiopia and the Caribbean, rooted in Ethiopia's decisive role in Africa's liberation struggles. In addition, Addis Ababa will host the second African Climate Summit, which is expected to attract more than 25,000 participants. Ethiopia, he said, will use the platform to showcase its practical measures against climate change and to push for stronger financial partnership to support Africa's climate agenda. The spokesperson underlined that Addis Ababa is steadily emerging not only as Africa's diplomatic hub, but also as a growing center for economic integration. The spokesperson also revealed that Ethiopia and South Sudan have agreed to expand comprehensive economic cooperation in key sectors, including aviation, energy, and road construction. Revisiting the GERD, he stressed that the project has proven Africa's ability to harness and manage its natural wealth independently. He added that outdated colonial-era doctrines have no relevance in today's context of shared resource utilization. As the news continues, Ethiopia and Pakistan have agreed to step up cooperation between their air force, pledging to expand joint training, technology sharing, and operational collaboration. The consensus followed talks in Islamabad between Ethiopia Air Force Chief Lieutenant General Yilma Merdasa and Pakistan Air Chief Marshal Zahir Ahmed Babar Sidhu. Lieutenant General Yilma Merdasa received a ceremonial welcome upon his arrival at the Pakistan Air Force headquarters, signaling the growing cooperation in defense partnership. During the discussions, Yilma said Ethiopia is undergoing a comprehensive transformation with a strategic priority placed on modernizing its air force, guided by building skilled human resources, acquiring modern technologies, and creating a military structure capable of addressing today's security challenge. He commended the Pakistan Air Force's strong operational readiness, advanced multi-domain capabilities, and robust defense system. Air Chief Marshal Zahir Sidhu, for his part, stated that the visits reflect the strengthening ties between the two nations and reaffirmed Pakistan's commitment to support Ethiopia's defense modernization through training, capacity building, and operational cooperation. He also expressed Pakistan's readiness to share its experience and to work together on joint exercises and technical assistance, adding that he looks forward to visiting Ethiopia to further deepen the partnership. The talks concluded with both sides agreeing to establish a framework to translate their discussions into practical action. You're still watching ABC World. In other development, Ethiopia's diverse wetland economy are critical for conserving biodiversity and promoting sustainable development, according to experts. In an exclusive interview with ABC World's weekly program, Ahmed Said, Forestry Program Coordinator at the Ethio-Wetlands and Natural Resource Association, underscored the vital role these wetlands play in water conservation and enhancing essential ecosystem service. Jerusalem Beza takes us through it.
The unique geological formations and diverse climatic conditions across Ethiopia have given rise to vast water resource and an extensive range of wetland ecosystems. Speaking to ABC World's weekly program, environmental expert Ahmed Said highlighted the country's wide variety of wetlands, including lakes, marshes, swamps, and floodplains, emphasizing their ecological and socio-economic importance.
In Ethiopia, we have different river systems, including the Awash river system. That is the only river, that emerges from Ethiopia and flowing down up to the Afar region. That is the only river we have that emerges in Ethiopia, also remains in Ethiopia.
Yes.
So across these river systems, we do have really a number of wetlands, which are really very much important. And when you take also the Barwa-Kobo river system, so that across in the southwestern part of Ethiopia, there are a number of wetlands within this across this river system. Okay. And there are also other wetlands across the Abai river system, and there are also wetlands across, the Omo-Gibe river system, and also across the other river systems, in the southeastern part of Ethiopia. Mm-hmm. So we do have really a number of wetlands.
According to Ahmed, these wetlands provide essential ecosystem services such as water regulation, biodiversity conservation, and climate resilience.
If there is a kind of wetland in a given area, there are, different animals and plant species located within that specific area. So, for example, you can take different types of plant species which have really very diverse and contributing towards, the biodiversity conservations of the country. Mm. And there are also different plant species, like there are migratory birds. We do have also different types of fish species, and we have also different amphibians, which are really very much important, maintaining the ecosystem services within that specific area. And these are really very much an important biodiversity sites.
He further noted that wetlands support a range of economic activities, including ecotourism, dry season grazing, cash crop cultivation, and ensuring food and water security, particularly for communities in rural areas.
First one is the direct ecosystem services, we call it. That is the direct benefits that will be generated from that specific wetland ecosystem. Mm. For example, there are kind of food where we can get from the wetlands, like we can consider fish, yes, and we can consider also some plant species. Even we can consider also medicinal plants that can be also extracted from that specific wetland, and we get also grass and other direct benefits from the wetland. Right. And the other ecosystem service is regulating services. When you say regulating services, we are referring to environmental services. Wetlands are very much important for water conservation, because in every wetland it can play also the water infiltration capacity. It can also filter water, it can clean also water, and also that's also home for, I can say that's a habitat for different kinds of plant and animal species.
The expert reiterated that sustainable management of Ethiopia's wetlands is vital to preserving biodiversity and maximizing their contribution to national development.
In our final segment, the chairperson of the African Union Commission, Mohamed Ali Yusuf, conferred with Francia Elena Marquez Mina, Vice President of Colombia at the AU headquarters in Addis Ababa. The two sides held wide-ranging discussions on strengthening ties between the African Union and Colombia. The high-level bilateral meeting focused on strengthening ties between the African Union and Colombia, with a strong emphasis on reparative justice, South-South cooperation, and empowering people of African descent. During the bilateral talks, African Union Commission Chairperson Yusuf congratulated Vice President Marquez Mina on her historic role and her government's commitment to equity and reparative justice. He also acknowledged the recent inauguration of the Colombian embassy in Ethiopia and commended Colombia's initiative to convene the high-level conference on South-South cooperation and reparation for Africa and Afro-descendant peoples. The leaders reaffirmed their commitment to advancing the global reparation agenda in line with AU Assembly decisions, with the African diaspora as key stakeholders. The meeting provided an opportunity to exchange views on deepening cooperation across political, economic, and cultural spheres, with a particular focus on the shared priorities of the Global South. And now recap of the top stories once again. Ethiopia and Nigeria's Dangote Group ink $2.5 billion USD deal to build fertilizer complex in Gode, Somalia region. And Addis Ababa gears up to host major global summits on Africa and climate. That's it for today, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for your company. Stay connected with the latest development from EBC Wallet, the voice of Pan-Africanism from the capital Addis Ababa, and keep locked in. Goodbye.